On the 26th of July last year, Mumbai, India's city of dreams, awoke to a nightmare. That day, nearly a metre of rain fell. It was the highest rainfall ever recorded in one day in India. Over 1,000 people were drowned. Even in this land of monsoons, this was something they had never experienced before.
It was frightening. It just frightened. It suddenly made you realize that you are not safe. It's not a fear of war. It's not a fear of chemical destruction. It's a fear of rains, which are a permanent feature of the city.
This heaving metropolis of 17 million is the world's most densely populated city. Up to 300 families arrive in Mumbai every day, trying to escape the grinding poverty of rural India. But this huge influx has put enormous pressure on the city's environment. This was cruelly exposed by the floods of July last year.
Everybody in the country wants to, at some time or the other, be in Bombay. And all these people need houses. The population within the city is growing, people who stay there, people who are coming from outside, the population is growing, and the only where land is available, only place where land is available, is in the creeks and the mangroves.
Mumbai is, or was, surrounded by mangroves. Dense forests grow in the shallow, marshy salt waters around the city. But a vast and growing population, scarcity of land and premium property prices mean the mangroves are being wiped out. In the last 50 years, 90%, some 45,000 acres, have been chopped down and the swamp reclaimed for building. This has come at a huge environmental cost.
The mangroves are very clearly acting as a buffer between the land and the sea. They are acting as very good wetlands which absorb excess runoff of water. Then we're looking at them in the context of global warming, carbon dioxide emissions. They're excellent absorbers for that. In the context of urban areas especially, we see them also as natural air conditioners, because these are the areas where cool breezes are generated and then pushed into the mainland, and that is acting to a large extent in regulating the temperature of the city. So I would say mangroves are acting as lungs, they're acting as a buffer between the land and the sea, and they're also acting as your deposits for excess water.
The more of Mumbai that falls under concrete, the more problematic floodwater drainage becomes. The 35 to 40% of rainwater normally absorbed by the ground has to find somewhere to go. One of the mangrove's most important functions during the monsoon is to act as a gigantic drain.
What we're seeing here is that the mangrove areas are 5 to 10 feet below the rest of the city. And when it rains really heavy over here, because the level over here is low, this whole area, these 50 acres, can accommodate all the water flowing from there. To develop these areas, you need to fill them up, which means that you have to raise the level, and you have to raise the level by at least 10 to 20 feet up. And the water which could previously flow into this does not have any outlet. It just cannot flow anywhere. And as a result of that, all these areas upstream get completely flooded up with water. And you have scenarios like 26th July, which didn't happen over here actually. Over here there was not a single inch of flooding during 26th of July just because of the mangroves.